Hi guys, Tally here, and today I'm going to show you how to knit this snood. I'll show you the pattern on it. This original squared pattern I got as inspiration from someone called Brittany, who I'm going to try and post this video as a video response to hers, but if I can't then I'll just post a link to it. And hers was just all squares, but I've added in this cable pattern running through it, and I've got 3 cables on this one. So this is just a tutorial of how to knit it, and I apologise that it's May now. I will explain all at the end. It's taken me an awful long time to make this video, so I hope you enjoy. So here are the needles I'm going to be using, and I could not for the life of me tell you what size they are. You're just looking for a really chunky needle, because the chunkier the needle, the chunkier your knitting is going to be basically, which is what we want to make it a nice warm knit. And you're also looking for ones that are connected with this wire, and they're called circular knitting needles, which basically means that when you're knitting you don't have to stop and go back the other direction. You just keep spiralling up as you're knitting to make it the length you want it to be, which is really good because it means you can make like a tube almost without having a seam up the side, which is what we want. So yeah, you need some of these. And this is the wool I'm going to be using. It's this nice, really soft white colour because it goes with everything. But yeah, you're just looking for a really chunky wool. Yeah, nice and soft as well. This is a 50-gram ball, apparently, and there's 50 metres in this ball, and you basically want 3 of these. That would be fine, or if you wanted a longer one more, or if you wanted a shorter one less, so yeah, just however many you want. I did find that out with trial and error. Like, I tried it with 2 and then ran out, so I just bought another one. So yeah, just whichever you want, but I'm using 3 balls of this one, which will do me fine. I'm going to show you how to cast on. You're going to start with the end of your wool, and you're going to tie what's called a slip knot, which basically, you don't have to do this knot, but I like to, because you can put it through and pull the end so that it fits nice and snug, fits nice and snug. Then you're going to get your other needle, you're going to slip it through your stitch behind the other needle, so it looks like this. Then you're going to get your loose end, and you're going to put it around the bottom needle, and then you're going to get the top needle, put it over the bottom needle like this, and then you're going to get your top needle that's now got the new stitch on it, twist it, and then put this needle through the back of that one, and then just pull this needle out, and there you can see you've got 2 stitches. So I'll show you cast on a couple more stitches just so you can get the gist of it. So you're going through, then around, then through again, twist it on, and then pull this out. So going into it, put the string around, through, twist it, on and off. So this is where all the improvisation takes place in this pattern, and for this one I'm going to show you, it works in multiples of 3, so whatever number of stitches you end up with at the end, it's always going to be a multiple of 3. There's 2 sections in this pattern also, I meant to tell you. There's a squared section and there is a cabled section. So for the squared section, which is what I'm casting on now, it works in its groups of 3, so you need to just basically decide how many squares you want, and I've decided I want 5 squares in this pattern, so I've done 15 stitches because 5 times 3 is 15. So yeah, that's how I know that it's going to be 5 squares. And then you need to get another little bit of wool, and you're just going to tie it around the end, which is quite fiddly. Yeah, and that's your marker, so you know where that section ends. And then for the cabled section, it's always going to be 12 stitches, so you can decide how many cables you want in the pattern and everything. So I've decided I want to have 3 cables in this snood. So here's what it's going to look like once you've finished casting on, and you can sort of already imagine what it's going to look like when it's finished. Like, here's a squared section, then a cable, then a squared, then a cable, then a squared, and then a cable, and it's just going to keep going around like that. So it's quite handy once you get to this stage if you want to do any adjusting of your pattern. Now's the time to do it. Now what you need to do is, this bit's quite tricky actually, you need to push all of your stitches around to the end of the other needle, which can get quite stiff, and it might take you quite some time. You need to push it right to the end of the other needle though, so you've got that. And then, once you've got it to the end, basically you need to start knitting. I'm going to go behind around, then in front and off, behind, around, in front and off, behind, around, in front and off. And then once you've done that for 3, there's my knit 3, you're going to bring the wool in front and you're going to do purl 3, which basically is exactly the same in reverse. Slide the needle in front, wrap the wool around, then put it behind and put it off, in front, around, behind and off, in front, around, behind and off. Then back to your knit 3 again, behind, around, in front and off. And make sure when you're doing your knitting, your wool is always at the back, and when you're doing your purling, your wool is always at the front. That's quite an important part actually. So you're going to keep doing that for your squared section, then I'll show you what happens when you get to the cable section. So now I've got to my purled section. I've done my squared section for the 15 stitches. I'm just going to untie my little bit of wool, and I'll just put it across there instead of tying it because it just makes it easier. And for the cabled section, you're going to put your wool in front again. You're going to do purl 3 and then knit 6 and then purl 3 again to use up your 12 stitches. So I'll show you what that looks like now. There you go, now I've done my cabled section first round, and you're going to continue doing what you're doing. So for your squared section you're going to do knit 3 purl 3 for however many squares you want, and for your cabled section you're going to do purl 3 knit 6 purl 6. Purl 3 knit 6 purl 3. There we go. You're going to keep doing that for 4 rounds, and you can tell when you've got to the end of the round because you'll reach the end of your tail again. So you're going to do that for 4 rounds, and then I'll show you what to do next. So I've done my 4 rounds, and you can really start to see the pattern taking shape, especially on the squared section. Now when you get to your 5th round, which would be here on the squared section, as you can see instead of doing knit 3 purl 3, I've done purl 3 knit 3 instead, and as you can see it sort of changes the pattern slightly to sort of build up the squares. So yeah, just do purl 3 knit 3 for as many squares as you've got, and then when you get to the cable section the pattern changes slightly as well. You're going to start off by doing your purl 3 like you have been doing the whole time, and then we're going to do something called cable front 3, and it's not nearly as difficult as it sounds. And basically what you're going to need is a hairpin, which is what I'm using, or you can get special stitch holders, I think they're called, but I just use these because they're free. And what you're going to do is you're going to very, very carefully, you're going to take off the first 3 stitches of your knitted section, sort of in the cable section, and then you're going to hold them in front of your work because it's cable front 3. If it was cable back 3 you'd hold them behind. You're going to hold them in front, and then you're going to just knit up the next 3 stitches. Very carefully holding on, making sure you do this really, really slowly when you first start because it's really, really fiddly. And you just do your knit 3. And then you're going to pick up these stitches that you've been holding here, and you're going to slide them back onto the needle, onto your left needle. Oh. And then you can put this away for now. And then you're going to, these 3 stitches that you've just picked up again, you're going to just knit them in to your work like you would normally. And then you're just going to do your purl 3 at the end. And there you have it. I know it's quite difficult to see at the moment, but you've just done a cable. You'll be able to see it more as the pattern sort of goes further up. That's what it looks like now. Sorry my camera quality is really, really bad. It seems to get worse the darker my room is, and it is pretty dark now. So hopefully I'm making it clear enough for you, and you can sort of see what I'm doing. So please say if I'm not. So basically I've just done my first cable. I'm on my 5th round. I'm going to call this cable round. And this cable round will happen every 4 rounds. So you're going to do 4, then it's a cable round, then 3 more, and then a cable round, then 3 more, then a cable round. So it's every 4 rounds. And in this cable round, you're just going to, as I've shown you, changing, like alternating your squared pattern between doing your purling first and your knitting first. So you can see the sort of squares occurring. You'll be able to see it better as you go along. And then on a cabled round, when you get to a cabled section, you're going to do your purl 3, then your cable front 3, and then your purl 3. On a normal round, when you get to the cabled section, you're going to do like how you did at the beginning. You're just going to do purl 3, knit 6, purl 3. So you'll be doing your cable front 3 stitch every 4 rounds on a cable round. Hope I've made that clear enough for you. Please say if I haven't and I will clarify. But yeah, that's basically what you do. You're going to keep repeating that and repeating until either you run out of wool or you've made it as long as you want it. So I will let you know if anything goes wrong, if I encounter any difficulties, and I will show you how to cast off next. Okay, so we've come to a pretty crucial part now. I've done this much and you can really see the pattern coming through now. I've just come to the end of my 4th round of this square, and I've only got this much wool left of my 3rd ball, which actually looks like loads, but I've just tried it out and it actually isn't enough to do another 4 rounds, so this much is not enough. So I need to start casting off now, and I'll show you how to do that. Basically, it doesn't matter if you're knitting or purling at this stage, to be honest. I'm going to knit 2 stitches, and then I'm going to take the first one, I'm going to pull it over the second one, and then pull it off, and then knit another one, take the first one, pull it over the second one, and pull it off, and then knit another one, pull this one over the first one, and pull it off. And you just keep doing this all the way around, and then I will show you what it looks like. There we go, so I've gone all the way around and I've just got 1 stitch left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the long thread, I'm just going to trim it off a bit about there with my scissors. I'm going to pull the needle out, then thread this loose end through the hole and pull it tight. And there we have it. Now I'll show you how to tie up all of the loose ends and stuff. Now for finishing it off, ideally you're going to need a crochet hook, but whatever works for you, if you can find anything, then use that. And where we've got these loose ends, I'm going to trim them off so they're short but not too short, so you've still got something to work with, about that length. And then I'm going to get my crochet hook, I'm going to push it through one of the loops next to it, I'm going to wrap it around and just pull it through. Oh, it can be quite fiddly. And then I'm just going to go to the next one and just going to sort of thread it through, back on itself almost, so you don't have a harsh sort of cut end and it sort of all ties in nicely. So here we have it, and I'm sorry it looks a little bit weird with my summer clothes, but it's actually May at the moment. I started filming this video in December, but I had a little bit of an argument with some editing software, and then it was too long, so I shortened it, and then it was still too long, so I decided to get rid of that whole video and just make a new one with a new snood. This one's for me. The one I made in my last video that I tried to upload was for my friend Hannah, whose YouTube link I will put below. It was her Christmas present, so she might even do a review of it if she's very, very kind, please Hannah. Maybe if we're lucky. But yeah, I just really like this. It's really soft. It's great for winter, even though it's May. Yeah, it would have been great in winter. I made loads of these for Christmas presents for all my family, so they're just a really nice present, like really what do you call it, personal touch. Yes, it's really nice. I love the pattern, like the cable going through and the little squares as well. It makes it a bit more interesting. And even if yours has come out with a twist, you can always try just putting the twist to the back, which also makes it look quite good. So yeah, just experiment with it, and I'm looking forward to seeing your interpretations of this pattern and any improvisations you guys come up with. So please let me know of anything, any questions, any queries, anything you're not sure about. Please let me know of any more patterns you've come up with, and please like if you've liked this video, and subscribe if you want to see some more knitting ideas, and let me know if you've got any ideas of other things I can knit. more into the winter now that it's summer and I won't be wearing knitted things very much. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that this one is short enough to be uploaded. Bye!